Look at those delicious salmon blinis. Do you want to know how to make them? Keep on watching. Welcome to my life as a carnivore. Okay, so for this recipe we only need the flesh of the salmon. So if you have without skin, perfect. If you have with skin, we're gonna skin it. And so with a knife I'm trying to get underneath it. The beginning is a little bit annoying. I tried to work where it's a little bit thicker. This would be easier if it still would be a bit frozen, but I waited too long. Mine is not frozen anymore at all. But so I'm not cutting, you see I'm like peeling the skin off and just help with the knife here to hold the flesh down and scrape it off. So sometimes there's still something like that on the flesh. That's totally okay. Sometimes this will stay on this part, so whatever happens is fine. Don't throw away the delicious skin. That's so good. Fry it in some fat in a pan and then it gets all crispy. Here I'm having 56 grams of butter, that's 2 ounces unsalted. And have here my water bath, so that means water in here cooking or almost cooking, and that's how I melt my butter. So here we have our salmon. I skinned it. I just cut it in pieces. 56 grams, 2 ounces of sour cream. You don't have to add this if you don't wanna, but I like fish with sour cream, goes very well. Again, this recipe is not for me. I'm not eating any dairy, but my friend, he likes sour cream, and so I thought I'm gonna add that. Just gonna put that in here. And here we have our 56 grams, 2 ounces of melted unsalted butter. In Switzerland we don't have salted butter, so I'm used to unsalted ones, and for cooking and baking I like unsalted because I like to salt my stuff myself, so I know how much salt it is in it. So now I'm having my hand mixer here, and I'm just gonna mix everything except for the egg whites together. We can also already add some salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. Also use a food processor for this. I like to use my hand mixer sometimes. So I am still only eating beef and egg yolks, so that means I have a lot of egg whites left, and that's the reason why I'm doing this recipe right now. So I have 7 egg whites here, and I'm gonna beat those with a little bit of salt. I knew this would happen. So egg whites, when you beat them, they actually triple the size. And I actually knew this would happen. For this recipe, that's not that important how well the egg whites are beaten, but that's how you know they're beaten well. By the way, the egg whites were in the freezer, so I thawed them out and no problem with beating them. So when you're only eating egg yolks like me right now, keep your egg whites for a recipe like this. And yes, of course, this recipe I'm not making for me because still I'm only eating beef and egg yolks. But once I'll be eating more again, I'm gonna make that recipe for me too because it's yummy. Okay, so here's our egg white. And I'm just gonna fold it in like I'm folding it under. It just, you don't have to beat the egg whites, but it makes it a little bit more airy, more like fluffy. Of course, you could also use like whole eggs. Just use 6 whole eggs. Instead of the 7 egg whites, you could also use like 3 whole eggs and 4 egg whites, like whatever combination you like. Well, with whole eggs, you also get the egg yolk, what is very nutritious, much more nutritious than the egg whites. What I would prefer, but right now I'm doing this recipe mainly to use up my egg whites. So now we're gonna grease up a pan. I'm using here bacon fat. I'm not doing well with rendered fat, but again, this recipe is for my friend and he's okay with rendered fat. And bacon fat with the Salmon Blini, it's gonna give it a really good flavor. Before I was carnivore, I was making everything in bacon fat for me and I was okay. I thought I was okay with it. Yeah, unfortunately I can't do that anymore, but it gives it a really good taste. But again, you can use whatever you want. You can use butter or tallow or suet or just some kind of grease. Please no vegetable seed oils. The stove is on like middle heat, maybe a little less. And now we're just gonna put in some of our salmon batter. And now here you can make a whole big one, you can make little ones, thin ones, thick ones. I'm kind of trying to make a blini, like kind of medium thick, maybe a little thicker and not too big. And then we just let it cook until one side is ready and then we can flip it. You can also put a lid on top or something to speed up the cooking and then it will also cook the top of it by itself. But I like to flip mine because then it also will give it a nice brownish coloring. So I reduced the heat quite a lot and it's been in here for like 4 minutes now. And I think you can flip it. Make sure you have enough fat in the pan. So it's hard to do that with one hand. Ooh, nice! Nice! I mean, we don't want to burn it, so lower the heat. You could even lower it more. I like it when it's kind of brownish like that. But yeah, this takes a little bit time. Because the raw salmon, we want it well done, so everything is cooked. Now let's just leave it for another probably 3 minutes. So this time I'm making 2 the same time, and when you see they kind of get this color, the edges, they're done, you can flip them. But I highly suggest before you flip them that you want to put some more grease fat, whatever, in the pan, so they won't stick to the pan. So, and here we have our stack of salmon blinis. And of course, we can add other carnivore things to it, some salami, or brie, or chèvre, that's goat cheese, or whatever you want, as long as it's carnivore. If you like what you see, subscribe. If not, just click me away. I'm gonna have some meat now.